I to initiate release sequencer. On my mark. 5.
We're on express elevator to hell. Going down.
2. 1. Mark.
Oh yeah, the humid is definitely humidity's in full swing today. That shit was an oven outside. You just open the window like crap.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is why you mute your guests. Welcome to the...
Trying, I couldn't get there fast enough. God damn it.
Welcome to... I forget what's our intro even? Welcome to the Resupply? Yeah, with me, guy next door.
Me, DK.
And me, Fan, and weird, mysterious extra voice that you will all get to meet later. It'll be fine.
He's hanging around. We'll bring him in shortly. We're bringing you your weekly double tap of all things Space Marines and Laser Force. The title today is definitely the wrong one. Oh, lights. DK, 16 months. What a legend. With Prime even. Giving us that Bezos money. Love it. Nice to see you all. Hope everyone's had a great week. Good morning to you, Smalley. Hopefully you've had a bloody excellent week.
It's not morning for you, Smalley. It's only 9 p.m. where you are. You're still on the East Coast. It's not morning. It's still night.
Spoilers.
Yeah, it depends. Maybe her extremities are telling her it's the morning. I hope everyone's had a great week of doing whatever it is that you do during the week. I've had a good week this week. I don't know about the boys. We'll ask them in a sec. But we've got a guest hanging in the wings who will bring in much earlier than we normally bring guests in, who just fucking sit around for half an hour whilst we talk about some bullshit, and then bring them in for 10 minutes to add color to our content each week. I don't know why I put that in quotations. It seems inappropriate.
I don't know why you did either.
Yeah. How are you, fellas? You doing all right? Get in the van. Professor Sniffles. Oh, Gibbo, that was amazing. So good. Yeah. How are you doing, boys? DK, you look resplendent.
Yes. I feel much more like myself now that I've gotten my hair redone. Although the sun, gotta get out of here. Stupid sun. But I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
We have laser tag in the somewhat adjacent nearby future, so I'm happy. I'm feeling better than I was.
Than, you're adequately stressed out, but doing all right.
I am overly adequately stressed out at the moment. Yeah, nothing quite like putting your house on the market and you need it to sell, and it's been on the market for over a week and there's literally been no viewings whatsoever. So we've got an open house scheduled for him tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. Just I'm not at super panic stage yet. Right now I'm still kind of I'm just annoyed that I missed the peak of the market by about 6 to 8 weeks. But another few weeks of nothing and I will go to panic.
Out of curiosity, if
Sure.
just if something were to happen to your current residence, say some sort of fire, would that be the equivalent to somebody buying that house, or not really? That doesn't work that way.
No.
Hypothetically.
No.
Oh, that's a shame.
No, that's not how that would work.
I need to make a phone
in
call.
any way, shape, or form.
Guys, it's off.
Yeah. Abort.
Yeah. Don't do that. No.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't do that.
Right. Well, here's hoping the coming week goes a lot better, and someone gives you a bunch of money for the things that you have.
I would settle for relatively close to the amount of money that I'm asking. That would be fine. I'm good. There's a whole timing thing with all of this that is not, like I said, it's not critical currently. In another get me another 3 to 4 weeks further out, and the timing starts becoming much more critical. So
man, you boomers can never catch a break, can you?
One, fuck you. Two, fuck you with a rusty chainsaw. Three, eat all the smelly
You
dicks.
see how much our guest is laughing in the background. I'm loving this.
I mostly made that for DK. That one that was for you, just for you. But I'm glad I guess enjoyed that.
Okay, Boomer.
Yeah. Well, look, I had I can't remember if I talked about it last week on the podcast, but I had a wee package turn up on my doorstep this week or last week. I can't remember. It's one of the two. I got my shipment of era beans come in, which is outstanding. Did I talk about this last week? Can't remember if I did.
You did not.
No, I didn't. Exclamation era ER in chat. Era in chat if you wanna order yourself some era coffee beans. They smell damn good. Damn good. But our friends,
We see. Oh yeah, it's nice.
smells
Very
like
very aromatic. Very nice. And DK, fuck you. Although again, I almost mistyped that again. So
I was putting it into the universe.
it's aromatic apparently. Our friends Ninja Jack and Call Me Too community members from our Twitch community, but also longtime members of our Laser Force brethren. So if you wanna get on board and give them some support, they're starting their own coffee beans company. Go to erabeans.co, order some coffee beans from them. We may or may not be doing a coffee club stream tomorrow, which will actually brew and taste some of their delicious coffee. I haven't actually opened it yet because I wanted to wait, but we can't wait too long because I'm about out of my other coffee. So waiting on the other members of the coffee club to confirm whether or not we can do that stream tomorrow, and if we can, I'll put it in the Discord. I'll give you a heads up, and we'll hang out and we'll drink coffee together like a bunch of hipsters. Yeah, exactly. Hashtag hipster shit. A couple of very quick updates for stuff that's kind of stream relevant. Let's see, I ticked off Era Beans off my checklist. The other things I wanted to talk about, I've been putting in some thought as to how the Resupply annual charity marathon podcast will look for this year. And I've got some stuff in place that we might actually be able to do some different / cool shit this year. So not that last year was not cool. Last year was friggin' amazing.
I was about to say, what the fuck, man?
What the fuck? No, last year was epic. It was so good. I had so much fun. Shaving my head was traumatic, but shit happens. We've raised just under 14 grand for Starship Children's Hospital. And the more I talk about it with people and they tell me, the sort of amounts that charities that they've run or been involved with have earned, the more it just hits home how epic that figure actually is. Like 14 grand is just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. So, this year I've got some plans in place to make it even bigger, even better, and we'll see. We'll see how it all turns out. It could be. I kind of want to speak it into existence because if I don't, we'll get to sort of the end of the year and then I'll panic, throw a show together, and I don't want it to be that. I want it to be amazing. Hashtag all24. That might be one thing that we're looking at doing, Smalley. But yeah, it'll depend on logistics. Oof. Yeah, oof indeed. Oof.
I mean, the 16 last year was. I mean, we were all pretty crispy at the end of that. That was.
You know what? I figured it out that I think I'd stayed up for over the 24 anyway, because I was so hyped on what had happened and the adrenaline was crazy and yeah. We'll see how it goes. Some of the stuff I want to do is actually, I'm not gonna give it away. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be really cool. But let's put that on the shelf for now with the rest of my collectible bullshit. Shall we say hello to our guest for the day? A lot of you know him. He's arguably the best player in the Americas. and he's just an all around nice bloody guy, to be honest. Let me quickly switch over here. Which button is it? This button. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show the man, the myth, the legend, our friend Scythe. What's up, dog? How the heck are you?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good, brother. Good. I'm glad that.
Oh, we can hear him.
I'm
Win.
glad, yeah.
Fantastic.
There was definitely some technical difficulties going on earlier with splicing discords and mics and a horrible webcam. It was just a whole thing. So
I mean, you look marvelous, and we can hear you loud and clear. So that's the main thing. And
JBL Quantum Ones. Shout out to JBL.
ooh, shout out JBL. I don't know what that is.
JBL, give us some free shit.
Yeah, free
Yeah.
chat.
Hashtag not an ad. Hashtag
Yeah,
not
hashtag
sponsored.
not bad.
Hashtag you will and we shillin'. So you have obviously, everyone knows who you are. You've been around for bloody years and years. But you recently went to play some lasers among Force and some other brands. But we thought we'd get you on because it's not often that we get the perspective of the Armageddon tournaments, because we are all obviously very Force centric around here, Force snobs, if you will.
I mean, I've done a GEDDON. It's just been a very long time.
I've done one of those. But
Safe
yeah,
to say DK's like analogy that it used to have. It's just like anything but force is just masturbation at that point.
No, that's a
Some
vibe,
hashtag-
but you know.
Hashtag 2013.
I don't know if we're allowed
Yeah.
to stream that kind of tournament.
No, if it's not Laser Force, it's dry humping. It's even worse.
Yeah, especially in jeans. But you obviously went and played Armageddon what 2 weeks ago at this point, or a week ago.
Yeah, just about.
So where was it? I can't even remember any of the details.
So it was like it was a tri-state Midwest kind of tournament. So it started at Laser Force Detroit, so Revolution Lasertag, Clinton Township, and then we went to Blast, which was like over in Canton, and then we went south into Ohio, and then hung out in Ohio in multiple different areas, mostly just cornfields in the middle of nowhere.
Because Ohio,
That
that's
is
kind
Ohio.
of yeah,
That's
yeah.
correct.
I think I saw some of those in Toledo. Right on. And what formats did you guys play? Because for those of you for those who don't know, what is an Armageddon tournament?
Sure. So it's branded as the ultimate test of a laser tag skill. So you basically play.
It really sucks.
That's fucking loud.
I do not have a water near me, so I'm
That's
sorry,
alright,
guys.
either you, bro.
We'll put it in the parking lot. Just add one to the tally, and I'll just go drink a bunch of bottles of water. But yeah,
You
it's
get to drink
branded
from
as
fire
the
hose.
yup. But yeah, it's branded as the ultimate test of laser tag. It's on a bunch of systems. Some are now referred to as legacy systems because they don't exist in our areas or anything like that. But they do have the ability to be imported to sites. So that's always amazing playing on some of those. I'm a huge fan of some of them, others not so much. But yeah.
And so when you say like imported, like that would be like, okay, we're gonna take this like zone gear and play it in Detroit Laser Force or some
yeah, just imagine a bunch of like totes somewhere, and it's just like, oh, we're gonna bring all these totes here. Get in the van, guys. We're getting in the van, and then bringing it to wherever it's going.
What's the fluoro suits that people
Qzar.
off Qzar.
Qzar.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Qzar.
Goodness me.
These are which is one of the systems that gets ported around everywhere because it's actually one of the easier ones to port, and it's a legacy system at this point.
Yeah.
There are not that many left in the world that are actually sites.
Right.
In fact, there might not be any at this point. It's one of those things.
So, first of all, Staryu, so deep. Well done. So deep. With Qzar though,
I'm like not sure of spam.
meh, meh.
Like,
There's no penis references, so we'll let it play.
yet.
Yeah. That's true. It's always the sneaky penises that come out of nowhere.
Yes, Qzar, the preferred laser tag system of homeowners associations in Colorado everywhere.
So, but with Qzar, is it like there's just the players that have accumulated vests over the course of time, or because if they don't have sights, then where do they come from?
All right, so this is going to be a little bit of PSD, or PTSD, sorry, but Craig, our lovely cult leader, as you will,
Hail Satan.
when he owned Revolution, he actually bought a bunch of Qzar packs, and they were trying to use the Qzar packs for like public games, in addition to like having Force at the site. So those packs have been sitting there since he was the owner and just collecting dust, everything else. So when it came down to Qzar, we didn't have to actually import it. The Revolution had all the packs and everything. We just needed to make sure they worked. The batteries weren't shot from being plugged in the entire time. And we could actually make it through, that portion without, all the batteries dying, packs being messed up, reloads not working, anything like that.
Are these things like I'm trying to say it in a way that doesn't sound cheesy, but like Armageddon proof, like end of the world proof? They seem like they're made of like toxic ass plastic, and like it'll be like them and cockroaches left at the end of the world.
Probably at this point, yeah. Like the top part of it, or imagine like just American football shoulder pads. So like hand egg shoulder pads.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. And then the gun and everything. I mean, you could probably throw it on the ground a bunch of times and you'd be fine. That's the way I feel about it, because I've seen them drop so many times. It's like, okay, if that was a Force phaser, we'd probably have some issues. I mean, just like same thing. Like, it just keeps working. Like, all right, I guess.
It's like those Tupperware commercials where you can run the thing over with your car and like it's still fine.
Yep.
It's hardy. It always intrigues me seeing people duel, because I think somebody put a video up. It might have been Cody. Of them dueling.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That shit's just. I mean, surely they must do it here, but I don't know where.
Well,
So the dueling for Qzar is basically like covering everything, and you're coming out of that cover to like fire a shot and immediately going back into cover, where you're just covering all your sensors, like everything. And Qzar is a unique thing where it's like when you get shot, you actually get a reflex shot. So you could get shot and immediately, you have that small window of time where you could try to hit the other person. That's why they immediately go back into that cover.
Right. So you get a lot of like duels that are like ends and ties or whatever.
Somewhat, yes.
Oh, it's like
if you're good
So
enough,
you've never seen Redneck Tech 20-0 somebody.
yeah. Like if you have a really good cover, so shout out to the Brit from the UK, and Redneck Tech is another one, where if you have that really great cover and you're able to come out of it, you could just devastate people. And then after 5, you get rapid fire, so then it's pretty much game over for the other person at that point.
yeah. Because there's a whole thing with those packs, since they're forward IR, when they're firing they can't be hit, and so when they're on 1 shot per second, to cancel somebody's shot you have to be really good with your timing. When you're supercharged, which means you have the rapid fire, you're just like, oh look, you really can't hit me, haha, fuck you. It's definitely one of those things where, as with so many things, if you're playing with somebody who's relatively your skill level, if you're dueling with somebody who's relatively your skill level, it's a hell of a lot of fun. It really, really is. If you have the unfortunate thing of going up against a Brit or a redneck tech when you're not very good, you're you're gonna have a bad time, and it's just like, oh yeah, you like if you get like one, you're feeling accomplished. So yeah.
But on the plus side, it did give Than a great chance to try out his Kobe intensity face. So I mean, something.
Is that that face? Yeah.
Gotta get the lower jaw out.
Yeah.
Really get it out there.
The Mamba mentality with the lower jaw.
Yeah, that's right.
If you add the vein as well, oh, that's a scary thing. Do they deal with with zone systems?
Yes.
Yes, but the arena we were in was really tiny, so outside of the zone nats where you're you have the lore where you're all the three players are in the ring and you're dueling, the team comp is, I mean, if you're good you could probably take out a few people and then keep moving, or crack the base by yourself and take the base for yourself because of the base evac rules. But the arena size is just so small, so it's pretty much, yeah, I shot this person down and then this other dude shot me in the back. It's like, well, shit, all right. And then the sweeping of the shot adds for a harder chance to kind of dodge when it's that small, not a lot of walls. There's 8v8 happening, so yeah.
Goodness me. All right, well,
it gets crazy.
So on that note, what for this particular tournament, what systems did you guys play with?
Yeah, so we started off with Force, then we went to Blast, and then I forgot the order after that, but just because it was a very somber weekend. But the total systems that we had was also Storm, Qzar, Tron, Zone. I hope I'm not missing any. I think that's Quest. Yeah. So those are the main systems we played on. We didn't do tactical this year. Tactical is always a hit or miss thing. So, but it was a lot of fun. And the systems, I think, for the most part, at least for me, being a just pure Force player, and I've played 4 Armageddons now, it's I do have my systems I'm really good on, and then there's ones where not so good on, we'll say.
So you mentioned, and we'll touch on it very quickly because it is definitely worth talking about, and we talked about it I think last week on the show as well. But the laser tag communities, especially the Armageddon community, lost one of our own recently. If you would like to donate, Cat was their name. If you would like to make a donation to mental health charity in Cat's name. What was your code name? Harlequin.
Yep.
Yeah. Feel free to check out that link there. Our friend Tivia, who is basically the laser tag guru, has set up a donation
True OG.
page. True OG. But if you'd like to make a donation to mental health, over $2,000 raised, dude, that's so awesome. Yep. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done, everyone.
I'm glad you're here to give us that figure, Beans, because I actually didn't know what the total amount was. But that's awesome.
What a bunch of legends you guys are. So if you'd like to donate towards that charity, I think it's the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is what it says here. 988lifeline.org.
Yep.
Go to that link and chat that way. Any donations are greatly appreciated. But I'd imagine it was a pretty rough time for everyone. It's a pretty rough time anyway, but for everyone specifically at that competition.
It was for those that don't know in the Force community, Kat was actually set to play on our team. So she was our zone ringer, so to speak. And she was amazing in so many systems in Armageddon. And really just leading up to the tournament, we were talking about, jokes. We were trolling Micro a little bit. There was, which systems are we going to sit? all these things talking about really how close the tournament was going to be. We really had, an upward battle for us to try to take the tournament. There's, always some level of planning of how you're going to do in each system. And, all the way up into the 2 days before, we're in the chat, we're just joking around, having fun. You know how team chats get. It's just a great feeling. But in the 2 days leading up to the tournament after the bad news happened, it was really like, can we do this? Like, if, and Jake, who was our captain, and Scott, also shout out to Scott, but, they were like, we understand if people want to drop. Like, we understand it's not easy, but, certainly Scott didn't know, right then and there if he was going to be able to play. They were so close. So we kind of just, felt it out, figured out, okay, well, we're all doing it. Like, no one's leaving. We want to play for her. And, the mood in the tournament went from competitive to just celebrating, what Kat did and what she meant to the community, which at that point, you're just laid back. Like, there's no like super competitive, Mamba mentality situation happening. You're just actually having fun. And that's something like I think that I missed for a while with Tag, where that fun aspect, like, it reminded me a lot of 2019. My team was having a ton of fun. It was still sad, but we were finding, the lightheartedness in it. We were just making jokes about what was happening in games. And there were so many funny moments that happened with our team and games. And then certainly some upsets that we pulled off that we didn't expect to win. So overall, it was a great time. It was a great weekend, in memory of Kat. And we all had our own little special way that, we thought about her during the week and really carrying on her legacy and how we'll carry that forward as well.
That's like so important to do as well. Because part of the reason why community is so important is for that right there. That helps people find their way through the fog. We talked about the grief fog, when we hung out earlier in the year, and it's something I talked about on the show. And when you have a community around you that can help navigate you through that fog, it helps to kind of to deal with the pain. So yeah, I'm glad that you guys made the call to kind of to continue to play in her memory, which is really, it's not easy, but really awesome that you guys did that.
And overall coming together, we won. Like, it was
nice.
Somewhat, it was somewhat meant to be. Like, it was definitely a win for her, and a medal for her as well, another first place for her. So it definitely worked out where it's like, hey, let's go out and win this for her, and that's certainly what we did.
That's awesome, man.
Excellent.
I know.
We won't get into too much on here, just because it's a tough thing to talk about publicly, but and we harp on about this on the regular. But if you need to talk to someone, or if you're feeling low, or even if you're just feeling lonely, reach out to somebody in the community, because they'll be there to hopefully help bring you up or bring you through. And the community at this point, we've known each other, for some of us, for a really, really long time.
Really excessively long in some cases. Excessively.
But regardless of how short or long you've been in the community, just reach out, because mostly everyone is a bloody good bugger. So people are always there for you. Beans almost showed up in Ohio. Should have gone. It's weird that you don't go and do things, Beans. You just talk about it. Don't talk about it. Be about it.
And as DK said in chat, Beans, Ohio much closer to you than Colorado, and you randomly showed up in Colorado.
So dumb, dude.
Anyway, so I don't know, man. This seems. You
put up with you for 14 years. Feel old yet? Get 20, my friend, and then we'll talk.
Yeah, bro. Bro, I've been putting up with DK for 25, or he's been putting up with me for 25. I've been putting up with Stevo for 20, about 20.
About 20.
Yeah. So Beans, you're not even on the fucking radar yet, bro.
Plus, you already retired, so whatever.
Bitch, you ain't special.
Did you have a favorite site or system? This one here is a leading question. No.
Definitely, but no. So if you guys remember, if you were there in 2013, a bunch of people tried to get everyone to go play Blast in 2013 before the Force tournament, and everyone's like, "Nah, it's not SM5. Like, we're not down about that." But for those of you that did, we went out that Friday night. We went to play Blast in 2013. So I would consider that my second best system. There's the game mode there is basically one shot every 2 seconds. So it's very pinpoint accurate. Like, you can literally dodge shots, come back out, and hit someone with a shot, and you keep moving. The game that's played at the old Ann Arbor site is called The Game. It's just that, and there's like a invisible line that divides like the field, and if you're crossing that line, you get shot. You got to return back to your side of the field. But the Armageddon format is just like you have a set amount of lives. It's team v team. You can start anywhere you want in the arena. So the pregame of the game launching is pretty much communication, like, hey, who's where are the threats at? What do I need to do? And then from there, like, again, I've played the game, many times, probably more than I'd like to admit. So I had the top 2 Blast players on my team. So it made it easier. It's me and Micro the next 2. So it's, we obviously had a really good chance. There was an awkward time that happened, one of the funny moments of the tournament, where I'm walking out of the game. I was like, man, I did pretty good. I got limbed though, but I walk out and our other 2 Blast players are E-limbed, and then Scott's E-limbed, and we're all looking at each other kind of like the Spider-Man meme. Like, what are you doing out here? We're all dead. Like, holy crap, are you about to drop a Blast game? It was like, well, I don't know, but luckily Shell and Micro and I think one other person was still alive on our team, so we held the lead until the game ended. But
nice.
That's definitely like my second kind of favorite system, the system that I'd probably rate myself the second highest in.
Right.
And then Zone, same thing. Like, Zone is always fun. Like, the holds, the weird shots, some of the pack situations that happen to a couple of the players in the bases. But yeah, that's that would have to go with those probably top 3.
That shit always cracks me up. Like back in the day, the argument was, Force, especially the international rule set, is so unrealistic because who shows the shoulder in battle, and then I see this kooky shit. Yeah. So calm down, Zone players. But what's your favorite? What's your favorite site?
My favorite system or site?
Either. Or both. Let's go both.
Outside of Force, I
keep saying outside of Force. I don't know why you're dodging my question.
Yeah. Outside of Force, I still think Blast is my second favorite. Like, site-wise, like, for all the places I've played so far, I don't know. I like Ann Arbor's Blast Arena probably the most. Like, that's where I learned to play the game. But the arena that we played at in for the Armageddon tournament, like, it wasn't bad. It was just the layout's really weird. There's only one way up from the one side. If like you were to play with a bunch of Blast players in the competitive field, they'd be like, this is uneven. Like, what? This is unfair. You can't. There's only one way up this side and 3 ways up the other side. Like, that doesn't make sense. So, but yeah, I definitely think that there's like a couple systems where I'm just not great on, and I'm just like, man, do I really have to play this game right now? But
do you ever
overall,
what was that?
Yeah.
Is one of them Laser Quest?
One of them definitely is Laser Quest. I didn't do too bad in Quest this time, though. So we definitely had some Quest ringers on our team that made our lives a lot easier. And It was really just luck of the draw with the pack and the gun that you have and how
Yeah.
well your sensors are calibrated. So I know that sounds bad, but
No,
just imagine
we
shooting
know.
stuff and not hitting. Yeah.
Yeah, we know.
So
I actually, where did you guys even play Quest? I thought they were completely out of business at this point.
I don't even remember where Quest was. It was somewhere in Ohio, like
In a field.
Yeah. I don't think it was. It wasn't Sylvania. Maybe it was Toledo. Maybe it was the first place.
I've been there.
Canton, Ohio. Yeah, I don't know. I wish there was some more getting people to help me out in the stream here. I didn't really look at the itinerary. I was just like, okay, hey, we play this tomorrow, and it's just like, oh, I'm showing up. We're a bunch of cornfields driving through and at this random spot. So it's like, oh, okay, yeah.
Do you guys?
You had to find the cornfield and a stone wall, and you walk up the stone wall. There's a stone that has no earthly business being there, and underneath you find the quest packs.
So, yeah, really quick though, we do have a funny story. So the one place we went to, it's called the Skyway Drive-In, right? And me and Mike were making jokes about this place the whole time, right? Because it's pretty much locked into 1992. Like that's the vibe this place gives off. I mean, but the drive-in is beautiful. Like if you ever make your way there, like the drive-in is absolutely amazing. I would definitely, it's on my list to go there and actually have and see a movie there, like in the drive-in. But the main facility where we played Tron at, like the place is just locked into 1992. Like it's just historically just in that moment.
That's awesome.
And when we were like getting ready to get vested, we noticed a payphone, right? And we're like, there's no way, right? And I pick it up and it's like, dude, this thing works, right? So I hang up and we film a video and we're just mimicking the Matrix, or like you're walking up to the payphone for the first time. I just like pick it up and just like took out the Matrix. And then I haven't posted the other video, but the next video is me lying on a field, right? And it's just me waking up like, am I out? And then it's like, it just ends. So
where might one procure such a video? Is it online
I can
somewhere?
definitely post it.
Yes.
Yeah. I can post both of them to you. It's just me walking up to the payphone and then me waking up in a random field like, am I out yet?
Do you think
I'm just like trying to wrap my head around a still working payphone. Like
I don't know how that works. Honestly, I was like, oh, it's gonna be dead, and it's just dial tone. I'm like, what?
I am genuinely trying to think of the last time I've seen a payphone in the wild, and
Right.
I am coming up with nothing. Like
They're trying to keep us in the Matrix. That's the last phone for us
Oh
to go.
yeah. Do you think that they intentionally stuck in the 90s, or are they like legitimately stuck in the 90s? We don't want to let it go.
I think they're just legitimately stuck there. Like it's in the middle of nowhere. It's like I'm pretty sure their main driving business is like the whirly ball and then the drive-in. But I mean, it's a really neat place. Like if you imagine just a early 90s movie, maybe late 80s movie, and you're walking into the bar, that's the setting. Like it's that
That's
feel,
awesome.
that vibe. If you have 80s like synthwave vibes playing over, the speakers, you definitely feel like you're in the atmosphere. So
Did you guys
I'm
have phone
I'm having
cards?
such throwbacks now right now.
Did you guys have phone cards in the States? Was that a thing you
Yes.
guys did? Okay.
Briefly, yeah.
Because anytime I've seen, like references to payphones in movies, it's always, just put a quarter in and it works. But yeah, phone
But
cards
no.
were the thing here.
Phone cards were a thing here also. Mostly if you were, God, and here I am dating myself again. Mostly if you were trying to do like long distance from a payphone, like that was more what it was. Like you would use quarters for making a local call, but if you needed to make a long distance call from a payphone or any other phone for that matter, like the calling cards would give you better rates than typically whatever long distance company you were with. I'm feeling very old right now.
My
I hate
mum
all of you.
worked for a telecom and had set us up with an 0800 number at home, so that if we were out and about, we could always call home off a payphone for free. And
That's awesome.
yeah, yeah. And there used to be at my high school. There was a payphone at the high school outside the gymnasium, and yeah, I had to use it a couple times. Like, we didn't live that far away, but yeah, you just call home, just call home off the payphone. Oh Jesus. So, I was gonna ask, what's your favorite force site? Just even outside of the Armageddon scene.
Oh man, I still like my home site probably as one, but two, it's definitely got to be Brisbane. Like that arena, that maze, I just love every bit of it. Shout out to the folks from Brisbane, but I am looking to make the trek over to New Zealand. Check that out. I would definitely like to return to Brisbane and do a couple more cities on my list in Australia to check out some more sites, but those are my definitely top two. Third, honorable mention, it's probably between SAC and New York. I think that SAC's play, like, I never really had a super strong full Detroit team in SAC. I think, like, if we had a full team, we definitely would have been way more effective in holding those key towers and not having to run to keep every 2 seconds. But I definitely enjoyed SAC's maze. And then obviously New York, it plays to my strengths: quick, fast, a lot of walls, one side of the arena to the next very quickly. So I'd probably go in that order.
Right on. It's interesting. I played Brisbane again earlier in the year, a couple of months ago actually, and the change they've made where they've reclaimed underneath the helm to put in part of their mini golf course, and it completely changes the way that whole section of the maze works, because now there's no cut through. There's nowhere to cut through underneath there, so you have to go right around if you want to traverse from the bottom of the ramps. It's quite interesting, because if you get flushed down red ramp, you're fucked. There's there's nowhere to go. You are getting rolled. So it in some respects it's gotten a little bit worse, but yeah, it's man, I'd rate it as my favorite maze. It was perfection. It used to be. Used to be. I don't know.
I plan to check that out, so I'll definitely feel how it gets. Feel again how it gets. Kind of that weird scenario where you're like, do I go here? Do I go there? And it's like, well, I know what to do, but we're getting smashed. So, like, am I turning left here? Am I turning right? Let's go right. They're not going to expect that. And then they're just like, what's that person doing?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
That's the dumbest shit ever.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
yeah. Yep.
All that shit gets thrown out the window. Well, do you want to? I have basically that ticks off most of my Armageddon stuff. But do you guys have any questions about GEDDON, or should we move on to talk about some other stuff?
I think those are some good GEDDON stories. We should probably get to some of our other news that we got.
All right. Well, let's talk about the week that just was. So obviously, there was a tournament in New York and Syracuse. ECT was played over the week. None of us went, which
Sadly,
means
no.
Obviously we can pass heaps of judgment on what unfolded. But
Yes.
DK, how did the week kind of look? What was the scheduling kind of like, or a brief overview?
I mean, there was still a fair amount of games. They played like 4 rounds or something even before finals. I know there was we had people at one point. We had like 7 people in our Discord who were just all kind of watching the games together. That was fun.
Such a good way to do it if you can't go to a tournament.
Yeah.
By the way.
Like, I mean, it was interesting to see too that they managed to get 3 full Syracuse teams, which is good that they still have that much of a member base. And then obviously getting the the get in the van with guests with the UK, Germany, Detroit, Chula Vista hybrid team. That I thought had a good showing. Was good to see them play. Was always kind of rooting for them when I would watch them play. The tournament itself it was one of those tournaments where like the pecking order was established very early and it clearly stuck. That it was like, okay, yeah, it's Syracuse A, then Syracuse B, then get in the van, and Syracuse C. And most games like didn't deviate from that. But there were still some games, especially when people started randomizing the teams. I know Get in the Van upset Syracuse B one game when they did random positions, and then early on in finals, I think Syracuse C almost upset Get in the Van. They hit them super hard early in the game, and seeing Kodama in that game, it was giving me flashbacks to when we played last year. Like when we were playing against the Syracuse B team at the time, like they just rushed us super hard at the start of the game. We're like, oh shit, if we don't recover here, we're gonna lose this game. We might get bounced out of the tournament. So we had to like recover super quickly. But they did. So I mean, that was good on Getting the Van. It was interesting.
I love watching those types of games, man. Like, anytime there's an upset, it's awesome to watch. Almost anytime there's an upset.
And
it's
Syracuse
fine.
A,
It's fine if you're
upset.
watching.
Yeah,
it's fine if you're watching. It sucks if you're in the game and you're the team being upset. Looking at you, Josh, asshole.
Sorry, guys. I've been on many upset teams.
Still bitter about 2011.
That's like that's one of the golden moments in like Detroit history. That game is what propped up the team to like go on and do great things in 2019. Was that literal game of that turnaround? 63 points.
Well, glad we could do that for you.
Yeah.
You seem real stoked.
Happy to help. Now get the fuck off our show.
Beans, you lost. You lost.
They did. They lost a game. Also, they dropped a game, I think, to Syracuse B. Because I'm sure you'll appreciate this, Steve. Is that Syracuse B, I believe, walled in the E-door, and then the A team did not really know how to break it very effectively. They just kept feeding it points.
What a bunch of chumps! It's not like we only talk about it like every month here.
It's not like that. I'm still pissed off about it 6 years later. 16 years later. Fuck.
I was like 6.
2006, not 16.
The memory's going at this point.
Obviously, yeah. It's not like I'm still pissed off about it 16 years later, and I still don't rant about it on this show on a regular basis.
It is like I like to see that kind of technique employed by the weaker of the two teams to like to overcome the favorite. When we had it done to us, Brisbane. I think Brisbane was still the favorite to kind of win. It was still a better team, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. Who knows? Nah, we were awesome.
Small margins. Small margins.
63 points. Right. So yeah, I missed most of the games. I got a couple of days where I got to come and watch like the last hour in Discord, but I missed most of the games due to time zone issues. But yeah, like
time zones don't exist.
I assume like they were enjoyable. I assume the tournament was enjoyed by all.
I mean, from a watching the games perspective, I mean, because the pecking order was so clear, and because I don't know, because it essentially turned into an extended members night with guests. I mean, there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but it would have been nice to have a little more variety in some of the games. I don't know.
I think
having
it just
said
shows that we've been kind of spoiled though, because honestly, like that's what our 2004 Nats was like. Didn't we only have like 4 teams?
We only had
a lot of them were Sacramento players.
yes, yeah, no,
So
and
a lot's changed, obviously, in the
Yeah.
last 18 years, and we've been spoiled for content and had tournaments where we have 8, 10 teams, something like that. So this was obviously smaller, but I'm still glad that people are getting out and doing it. I was still getting FOMO watching the games.
Well,
So.
it's
yeah,
prior to 2010, right? Like the tournaments were significantly smaller. Like you'd have
yes,
Yeah,
5 or 6 sides turn up to a
yeah,
site.
like 6 was a
It was
big, tournament.
Yeah, yeah, and usually 2, if not 3, of those teams were homers. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So I mean, don't get me wrong. Was I very appreciative that there was some lasers to watch? Yes.
Mm.
Let's be very, very clear about that. It just it just would have been nice
I say we take off and nuke
there to
the
be
entire site from orbit.
a little more variety somewhat within the games. But again, TK, I mean, you're right. We have been
I
extraordinarily
say we
spoiled
take off and nuke the entire site from orbit.
in terms of having really good in terms of having tournaments where there have been so many teams
I
and
say we take off and nuke the entire site from orbit.
This is like at
many
the
teams.
Oscars when they don't want you to when they don't want you to talk anymore. They're just like, oh, just
Yeah.
play you off stage. Like, no more ECT talk.
I say we take off and nuke the entire site from orbit.
Oh, that's a good fortune.
Damn,
It's
King.
good fortune, but
Damn, gang.
yeah.
So yeah, so it was
I say
still
we
fun to
take
watch.
off and nuke the entire site from orbit.
Great fire chain.
Great 5 chain King.
Five chain by King, love it.
Yeah, I'm
I
sad that
say
there
we
weren't
take off and nuke the entire site from orbit.
more sites being
So
represented
you motherfuckers are getting banned.
and some of that was obviously because of kind
I
of
say
how
we
the
take off and
planning
nuke
ended
the
up
entire site from orbit.
going for this tournament. The fact that it was supposed to originally be in Loveland and then that fell through, and then this was kind of a last minute thing ish, and then airfares got
I
so
say
fucking
we take
expensive.
off and nuke the entire site from orbit.
It just there was a whole confluence of things that just made the attendance less than what it otherwise would have been.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Completely forgot
I
what you were
think
talking
that
about. Gotcha.
I think that one of the biggest things also was, at least from like the Detroit perspective, is we were semi rooting for it to be in New York, but there was a lot of like fog around, hey, can everyone get time off with this week that was chosen? And at least for myself, like I didn't tell my GEDDON team that I was actually 100% in until 2 days before. Like there's at least for like
Classic Josh.
where I work, yeah. The perks of being a team leader when everyone else is out of office, and it's like, well, shit, dude, I got to choose one or the other. So I was hopeful to make East Coast. Like it kind of broke down last minute with all of us because Beans was reaching out. It's like, yeah, we got people interested, we should be good. And we went from having a team to like being 4 people to 3 to like maybe me, maybe Stu, maybe Wolf. And then like Wolf had the opportunity to play with UK and Germany, and I was like, dude, I'll know tomorrow. And then as soon as it was declined, I was just like, well, shit, I can't even make it. So but I think that's also like kind of changing the dynamic, at least for Detroit, where everyone's starting these new jobs. And shout out to you guys for doing that, because we love to see you guys grow and make more money and do all that. But I think that's another dynamic within the states itself, is just like, shit, no one has vacation time at this point. Like everything's just crap. And those of us that have a ton of vacation time, it's like, well, I can use it if there's someone else here or someone else can cover or something like that. So,
Yeah.
but that's why I'm trying to get these other 2 like stood up, obviously, is, can I make both? Can I do both back to back? Get like, hey guys, I need 3 weeks off. You didn't give me time off in July, so let me go hit the New Zealand and then come back on a plane flight and hit West Coast. So we'll see.
Well, so on that note, let's talk about that a little bit. So coming up this year, 24th of October, the Auckland Triple Threat Space Marines 5 tournament will be happening, 4-day tournament, hosted here in Auckland, New Zealand. And it is a format that hasn't really been played that much, as far as I'm aware, at least especially on an international scale. So
Has not. Yeah.
we've got
But we've only played it once, I think, right?
well,
Detroit,
somebody
I think.
yeah, so you guys said that you guys ran
Yeah,
the
did
tournament
something like
like that, right?
Yep.
Essentially it's a 3-a-side tournament. Everyone's required to play every role at least once each day. And the idea is that your team will join up with another team of 3 and you'll take on 2 other teams of 3. So there's no like finals per se. It's based on a point structure for the week. But the more I kind of think about the tournament structure, the more I absolutely love it, because it's such a good way to get people the opportunity to play with pretty much, you'll play with every single person that attends the tournament. So and like that doesn't ever happen in our scene, at least. So that stuff's going to be really cool. And then I think the following week, or like 10 days after or something, our tournament ends. There will be a Space Marines 5 tournament happening in St. George, Utah, for anyone that's in North America.
November 6th to 9th.
Nice.
Very nice.
Nice. So yeah, for those of you who have the leave, the money, and the inclination, they kind of match up where you can kind of do both. So, and obviously you've vocalized reasonably early on when we announced the dates that, hey, I want to come over. So
I definitely love the format. I've been trying to do a Detroit Invitational here probably for like a year now, but it's like the tournament timeframes and the dates keep like making it so it's like, well, I don't want to be too close to West Coast. I don't want to be too close to like an East Coast or national. I don't want to, force people to choose one over the other. So, but the format, like, we had a huge success with ours and the 3-team Space Marines D&D tournament. Everyone loved it. Like, it was just a huge success. And I think with those tournaments, like, you get that dynamic where you get to play with everyone and you're like, okay, well, you get to feel the other play styles, you get to like adapt. The game changes, drastically game over game, because it's really just you 3. And yeah, we did have a semi-stacked team, but we did lose some games there. And it's really just, even though you have those teams, and ours, was random draw, so it's, still luck of the draw of what you get, but you do have to change your play style. You do have to adapt. You do have to, work with people you don't normally interact with or play with much. And for me, I love that stuff. So I am super stoked. If I can make it happen, I am 100% there. I will go into debt to make this tournament if I need to. But I really, really want to play.
True American.
Yeah.
America.
Yep.
It is. Like we played in 2020, like a local version of it, and this is kind of the case study for why I think this recent East Coast tournament should have been run in a similar fashion, because if you only have a player pool of 4 teams, or like less than 20 players, this is such a good way to get variance throughout the week, rather than having one team that is clearly better than all the other teams and they just roll through the week and act like it's fun, I guess. But yeah, these sorts of things mean that you can add some variance. The games aren't like predetermined who's going to win, and it gives you the ability, like all of us who have been playing this game for a long time, it gives you the ability to play with others who you haven't ever played with in the past, and it gives newer players the ability to play with a selection of excellent players across the board, which really helps grow your scene.
Yeah, the other thing that I really like is it's when you can't actually play with other players. Like, I finally got to play with you on a team, and to me, like, I loved every minute. Like,
Same.
I will remember that week forever. Like, especially, outside of lasers, us talking, me, you, and Justin, like, that moment will live on forever for me. It's like one of the things I'll hold dear. But even the sense, like, playing that week, it's like I've always wanted to play with you. Like, I always wanted to play with Rusty. I want to play with 2K. I want to play with Mallet. Like, there's so many people I want to play with, and this gives me the opportunity where if they're there, hey, I'm at least going to get one game with them, right?
Yeah.
Like, who knows what my team might be, but I'll get that one game, and I'll be able to check that off, because when it's sight locked, you're just stuck with, maybe I'll be able to play with Fan, right? And it's like, I've been able to play with Fan once. It's like, oh, maybe I'll be able to play with DK. I was able to play with DK a couple times. So it does give us that variety of being able to play with players that you always wanted to, but you never got a chance because, we couldn't make the same tournament. It was sight locked, random draw wasn't in our favor. Like, there's so many things that happen, but this tournament style definitely gives you the ability to do that. And then all the shenanigans happen in those games. Like, I'm just letting anyone know that has not played it, that was not at the Detroit Invitational. The shenanigans that go down to those 3-man 3v3 teams is probably the best shenanigans you'll have at a laser tournament.
It's it's played with such a different vibe, because with whenever you play a Nats, and I love Nats, I love attending Nats. The competition is the most competitive thing that I've got to experience as an adult, because as an adult you're not really thrust into competition like that, unless you'll play some other types of sports. This is the only thing that I've really had that gives me that rush of being in a high level competition. So there's a place for Nats, and there's a place for having a team that you get to play with on the regular, training as a team, like we did in 06 and 08 here in Auckland, training with that group of players and achieving something as a unit that you work really hard to actually achieve. So I love that, and I love that format. But yeah, when you have that once a year and that's your only exposure to competitive laser tag, it is nice to get to sample something new after 20 years. I'm so excited. I'm literally shaking.
That's something we want to play.
Yeah.
You're getting those pre-withdrawal symptoms, because after it's done, you're going to be twitching again, going, okay, where's my next fix?
So we got Auckland Triple Threat coming up October. Wait, give us the dates one more time.
24th. Monday the 24th is the first day of the tournament for 4 days.
Okay. And then we got West Coast and St. George from November 6th through the 9th.
Nice.
I should probably have done my research and maybe logged on to Facebook for once. We haven't finalized a format for that, right? Other than we know that it's not going to be site locked and we're going to have some kind of salary cap involved.
Right.
I think it's a random draw, right? Am I mistaken?
I don't know if that's been agreed on either.
Yeah.
Okay.
We did great show prep this time. We're great.
Yeah. West Coast in St. George, November 6th, 9th. Like, right now, there's like literally, I think the extent of the things that are confirmed is it's not going to be site locked. I think the kind of initial discussions that are being had are around a maximum of 3 players from a site, basically to force force some mixing of teams, and then there will be some type of salary cap that will be based on levels that are currently being generated. I know Snuffles had originally said a level cap of 40, but with how the levels are being generated,
it'll depend on what the actual
that may have to be adjusted.
Stuff is.
I might
but hey, that triple threat idea does sound interesting. That might be an interesting way of compromise and moving past that whole 3,
honestly,
more than 3 people on a team.
I think that's the way. Like, we've done it before here, and it worked really, really well. Mostly, it works when everyone makes sure that they play, or at least sticks to the rules. Because then you get punished.
I mean, who would ever miss a game at a position?
Someone with exquisite comedic timing is who.
What a goddamn moron! May rest in peace.
So to answer your question, Beans, when is Nats? No dates for Nats 2023 as of yet, but it will be held in Auckland and it will likely be in July. So just block out all of July.
Done.
Yeah, just do that. I have the no, and sorry, to further point on that, we'll probably look to lock down some dates in November, probably after these tournaments have been played. We'll look to finalize some dates because we want people to be able to come and not have to pay ridiculous flights, although that's probably likely to happen. On the Facebook page, the event for the St. George tournament, it says random draw S tournament where everyone will be required to play all positions an equal amount, with Scout being the exception. You'll play double the Scout games. Players will be ranked on a scale of 1 to 10 based on perceived skill across all 5 positions and familiarity with the St. George Arena. Teams will have a 40-point cap, and team formation is up to the attendees. Player rankings will be released shortly, and then all the other details are TBD.
I don't know how you're so. Sorry, I hadn't actually really read that, and the immediate thing that springs to mind is like random draw, but you have to play each position a certain amount of times.
Maybe that was just sort of a throw it at the wall, and these are some ideas that we have.
Yeah, let's just go with that is going to get workshopped a bit, and
TBD.
TBD.
The point is, there's a tournament from November 6th to 9th. You should show up and play.
Random team draw, then work out positions based on that. Well, so that doesn't work if you're putting together, teams of 3, which I think there's. Well, yeah. So I guess
we also don't know that. We don't know anything other than when the tournament is. Apparently,
look, what you should do is we have a pretty good grasp of how to run this style of tournament. Once we work out our details, I think you guys should do the same thing, but just in St. George, because it
would give us at least an interesting kind of frame of comparison.
Yeah. Doing stuff like making sure everyone plays the same amount of positions is a little hard. I think, the reason we had it so that everyone had to play at least one of every role is that you're not, if you've got newer players, they're not stuck playing one thing the whole tournament. You just, okay, we're going to put you as scout and medic the whole time. Enjoy. Just doesn't, it's not cool. So it gives everyone a taste of how to play, how to play 3 hits and all that stuff. And hopefully the teams are reasonably balanced enough where whatever the lineup is, you get some sort of parity. But yeah. Maybe. If Scythe and Rusty end up on a team together, which will happen at some point if you come. Yeah, the worst rated players came first and second in Auckland triple threats. Yeah, although King had Stallion, and Stallion was quite low ranked.
Fucking ringer.
Yeah, because we were like, how do you rank someone who hasn't played tag in over a decade? Like, it's too hard. So we guessed, and we guessed.
It's like
wrong.
riding a bike. Yeah, this.
Like riding a bike. There it is.
Halfway through day 1, he was back on that bike doing wheelies, doing scucks burnouts.
It's like if Rusty stopped playing for 10 years and he comes back. It's like, hey, what do we put Rusty at? It's like, still keep him a 15.
Yeah.
Like, why not?
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm so amped for that competition.
I'm genuinely irritated that there is no way I can make either of them. That's like,
Shall we do the weekly ritual? Should I pull up the flight prices?
I'm surprised you haven't booked already. But it's funny because we were.
Oh, Snuffles really threw a wrench in there by announcing when the tournament dates were. Because now at least I have a slight distraction to look at something else, some other shiny object to focus on.
It's funny because we've been sort of saying all throughout the week that, but Night Owl said as soon as DK produces an itinerary with his flight into Auckland, he'll book his flight. So if we can FOMO DK, we get 2 for the price of 1, which I'm okay with.
You've heard that.
Oh, yeah, there. Got my airline ticket right here. You can see it. There you go.
You've already looked as well, Beans? Oh my god. One thing we've said to people, especially for Auckland, like if you've got a choice between either coming to this one or coming to next year's Nats, probably come to next year's Nats. But you know, if you could do both, do both. Yeah, ooh, it's gonna be a bunch of Kodama! 24 months!
It's that Kodama guy.
It's like 24 months. Fucking hell, dude. Thank you so much for the support. It's really nice of you. Nice.
That's more than me, and I work here.
I think it's more than me also, and I also work here. So I think mine that I did today before the show started was 23 months. So yeah.
Well, I can tell you exactly what it is. So you're 23 months. So you're just waiting on leave approval, Josh, and then.
Yep.
Oh my god.
I am going to make this one way or another.
Oh my god.
Barring, I mean,
don't wait for approval. It's always better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Yeah. I mean, I'm at the point where it's just like, I'm pretty sure I'll book tickets here within the next couple weeks, and it's just like, my time off wasn't approved. Oh, I think I got COVID, guys. Sorry. I'm out for 5 days.
With you, the real MVP.
So there is some plans before and after the tournament floating around. Before the tournament, there's actually New Zealand's equivalent of Comic-Con happening in Auckland. So that's something that some people are likely to go to. I'll probably go to that as well. And then after the tournament, there's talks about road tripping down to Hobbiton. That is an option. And at this point, there are, I think, 4 sites within Auckland that we can have a bit of a trek out to if people want to go and experience some other sites. I think we'll try and do a members' night over at one of the ones that are also on the North Shore, which is at an FEC. If they can accommodate us, we'll do a members' nights there, which would be kind of cool.
Nice. Get those Reggies in.
Yeah, we'll go say hi to our good friend Reggie.
Yeah, so I'm so irritated that there is a 0% chance of me doing this. I'm so irritated. I'm gonna be so. I'm going to be gradually more and more annoyed as it gets closer that it just is not a thing that can happen. I'm super happy about the other stuff that is going to be happening and is why I can't do it. But you know, the FOMO is real. The FOMO is going to be real.
Can you hitch a ride to Hobbiton or something? Bro, come with me. I'll take you. I'm
all right.
I'm already offering up my vehicle. Like I'll be coming and hanging out round the way. So we'll, you know, my car seat's at least 5. So we'll see how we go. But yeah, that'll be fun. And there's opportunity if people want to go all the way down the end of the country. Hey Ivy, does Smalley get discounted admission because she's a hobbit? No, we're a bunch of tight asses here in New Zealand. We'll charge our family for full price. There is talks of Wellington Laser Force actually getting Gen 8. So at a push, maybe we'll head down there, but that's a little bit hard to do over a weekend. Maybe.
I mean, it's doable.
Minotaur!
It's doable.
It is doable.
It'd be a lot of it'd be a decent amount of driving in a short span, but doable. Your country's not that big.
I know.
So it's doable.
I know. It's the equivalent of driving from Hughes to New York, I think, right? Thereabouts.
It's a little more than that, but
is it?
Yeah. Syracuse to NYC is like, well, depends on traffic, but it's like 4 hours.
Oh, it took us like fucking 7, I think. Ugh.
It's like
why I said
hours.
Hence,
currently.
Hence it depends on traffic. Yeah.
Thanks, Beans. On Thursday social, you were the tallest on your team. That's awesome.
That's impressive.
What was the entire team made up of? Just Smalley and Blackhammer?
Spally, Blackhammer, probably a little bit, maybe
Oh,
Fenrir.
yeah, a little bit too. There we go.
Who else? Zerg, I think. There's a couple players that are just like, Justin was posting in our team chat. He's like, the B team is so hard to beat because they're all small and quick. It's like you shoot them and they're fucking across the arena. It's just like, well, you gotta do it, bro. Just hop on that bike and run over after them.
Team, you must be this tall to ride. Is that the what we're going with there?
Blimey.
I'm all hopped up on Space
Goofballs.
Marines hype. Goofballs.
Space Marines adrenaline for a tournament.
Oh man, it's coursing through my veins. Do you guys have anything else you want to kind of touch on? Josh, do you have anything else you want to talk about whilst you're here? Have you got any announcements to make?
No, not recently. Just shout out to my GEDDON team. So Scott, Cope, Jake, Andrea, Andy, Micro, and then playing Remembrance of Cat. So it was a blast. Like I told them many times during the tournament, like, I'll do this every time you ask me to. I was kind of it was kind of a weird thing of how the team got put together, but shout out to them, even though we're in, our force chat here. But it was an amazing time. If anyone out there is interested, the community is amazing. Just try it once. Yeah, like even for me, like I'm trying to play a Storm tournament next month, so their community has been super welcoming. Like, it's like, yeah, sure, come in. It's a draw tournament. Hop on a team. We'll teach you things, especially if you want to learn stuff. So it's super welcoming. They're all friendly. It's a blast at the hotels, drinking, bus, hanging out, just talking random lasers and all systems and past fun stuff that's happened. So if you're definitely interested in trying it, I would say definitely try it. Like, it is the most fun you'll have in 4th of July weekend. Sometimes there's barbecue, sometimes it's just like whatever's open late at night at a hotel because the route was planned crap. But it's definitely a blast. Definitely give it a chance.
Yeah, I'll having only done one GEDDON, and having been asked to do many more than I've actually done, I will echo it is a fantastic experience. So yeah, for anybody in the community that has maybe heard about it and has maybe been on the fence about trying it, because who are all these weird random cross system people that I have no idea who they are. The reality is tag players are tag players, and all that implies, both good and bad. So it really is this wider community that is very worth being a part of. So yeah, if you've been thinking about it and you've got the opportunity to do it, 100% you should do it, because here's the other piece to that. Playing other systems, one, it gives you much more appreciation for Force, but it also because it forces you to think differently about the tag that you're playing, it actually makes you a better Force player, because you have to view the game differently, because the equipment's different, the game flow is different, the whole 9 yards. Other things are more important in other systems, and you end up working on those portions of your game. And then when you bring those skills back into Force, they're not always a direct one-to-one relationship, but you'll find yourself improving in Force if you're playing other systems as well.
Yeah, I just want to add one other thing to that. Like, it forces you into teamwork. Like, if you're a solo player, you're just a points player, you're super aggressive, GEDDON will forcefully teach you to be a team player. Like, it is a team dynamic Like, you can have ringers that can try to carry you, and like, but you need your team to be doing something else in those systems. And I don't want to pick on Cody, but Cody did play this GEDDON, and they dropped games they weren't supposed to lose. Like, someone of his caliber being able to play, I think he kind of saw firsthand, like, yeah, you can be like a really good force person, and you could be commander and you can smash, but you need your resupply. You need your team to be doing things in the games, because some of the GEDDON players, it's like they don't play force competitively, but they've played force enough where, Swaz, who's a Sweden player, he plays commander, like, he's excellent. I'll probably pick him up to show him like a wider range of force, but he single-handedly just mopped the floor with that team. And it's just, he's only ever played GEDDON in force, and like, he's a very, very good force player for GEDDON, and we could probably make him, an excellent force player, all around. But it forces you to have that team dynamic, to plan before games, like, who's going to be resupply? This is where I need you to be. I'm going to be doing this. I need these players here. I need the heavy to set up here. Because force is something where they just didn't know how to play it. Mm-hmm. So when force players got involved, they kind of now have that rough outline of how to play it and how to strategically plan and, place players where. But that team dynamic that you need, even if you're an extremely good player, it's like, yeah, you can carry for about 60 seconds, and then when you don't have shots, you're going to be fucking hurt, because the other team is just going to be everywhere. So, definitely, like, it makes you a better player. Even for myself, like, there's things that I took out of Blast and out of Storm and out of Quest that it's like, hey, I can take this to Force and apply this and use this differently and take my approach with how I defend or play midfield differently. So it's a huge plus if anyone's looking to try to, expand really their growth as a player and, enter into another awesome tag family.
It's got me hankering for some GEDDON here, but I don't think we've got really an Armageddon scene in New Zealand, mostly because I think we've got 3 tag systems, maybe. It's like Force, Zone, and Strike, I think, and that's it. I don't think we had the legacy systems. So, maybe Lock On, if that counts. I've got a couple of Lock On home sets that we can bust out with the little eyepiece. It's so cool.
Technically, it does count, because that's almost tactical at that point.
Perfect. Dude, thank you so much for coming on the pod today. I love talking to you anyway, but getting your perspective, especially about this, because in my mind, like, I only really associate you with Force, so it is good to get the perspective that you're actually, you play other systems. You're not a snob like the other 3 of us.
He's also good at mini golf.
Also good at what?
Oh yeah, I'm exceptionally good at mini golf.
Are you really?
I cheat in mini golf. Yeah, I am. I'm a ringer in mini golf.
You beat our asses in 2015 when we were in Loveland. We're just all like goofing around, and Josh is just getting like birdies left and right. We're just like, what the fuck? Where did this guy come from?
Putt game on point, but no. The other thing, just for context, guys, like, I'm like lower middle pack as a GEDDON player. So there's like, obviously Micro is pretty up top in the GEDDON atmosphere of like great players in GEDDON. And there's like Scott, Swaz, who's from Sweden, like those tier players that have been playing for so long and just know the systems in and out. They can teach you so much stuff. Like, so give you the context, like, yeah, I'm great at Force and, I'm great in, the States, but as a GEDDON piece, like, it's all the way like middle pack more towards the bottom. So that just gives you reference frame. It's like, yeah, I'm still that Force heavy player, but it's like I can, hold my own in some systems. Other systems, I'm just like, why am I here? Put me in the back somewhere. I'm just getting wrecked.
Well, look, Mediocreville is where I live, so you've always got a plot of land right next to me. Thank you. Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. Chat, I hope you thoroughly enjoy it, and I hope this podcast goes a long way to making you book your plane tickets. DK, looking right at you. For October, come down and say hi, or at least head over to the West Coast and hang out with our St. George homies. We'll be back on over the week. I got a bunch of Lego to build this week. Thunderdome will be back on Thursday. We'll be doing I think we've got a show coming up next week. The following week, though, I found out that my mum is coming home, so we'll take that week off. That was the week that I thought about doing the Q&A, so we'll have to push that out. But, it's my mum, so what are you going to do?
Yeah, she wins.
Yeah,
she wins.
always.
It's not even a question. We're good. We're good.
But for this week, and Josh, get ready, because we're going to include you. For this week, I've been Guy Next Door.
I've been DK.
I've been Than.
I've been Scythe.
Yes! Nailed it. First try. Always remember to backtrack, kids. We will see you next week. Ka kite anō.